Hello, welcome back. In this lesson, we're going to talk about how to negotiate before you sign the contract. So, let's assume na lahat ng effort mo to find client ay nagbunga na. And then you're able to be invited for initial screening or initial interview or initial discussion to talk about the project or the client requirements. So, this is one of the crucial stage ng pagiging virtual assistant na kailangan mong magkaroon ng planning and right execution and right approach. Kasi you wanted to be careful sa pakikipag-usap sa client, ayaw mong mabigyan sila ng bad impression or something na mag-hold back sa kanila para hindi kanila i-hire. Kailangan mapatunayan mo na you are the right fit for the project or for the position that you are applying for. So again, initially naman, alam naman nating lahat, lalo na kung kayo ay well-experienced and professional na, practicing professional na sa initial stage ng interview, hindi naman talaga nadidiscuss yung price or yung rate or yung budget about the project. The initial phase of the discussion is more focused on about you. The client wanted to know more about you, your skill set, what you can offer to the company, what value you can bring, and then again, yung rate mo, what time works for you, and your goal, and anything that the client could possibly ask question like a usual interview setup. So yun yung magiging expectation ninyo kapag kayo ay na-invite for initial discussion or initial interview. So usually, ang mga common questions dyan is tell me about yourself, and then why we should hire you, and why you are the best fit for this position. So yun yung mga initial question. And usually, etong napansin ko regardless kung Upwork ba or Fiverr or kapag dumaan kayo sa mga job portal like online jobs. So, ganito guys ang experience ko. Just to give you an overview for at least insight kung ano yung mga situation na pwede nyo ma-expect kapag kayo ay naghahanap ng clients. So, kapag naghanap kayo ng clients, let's say sa onlinejobs.ph, so usually, karamihan doon, ang napapansin ko, ang mga initial na nag-recruit ay mga Filipino. Kapwa natin Filipino, nag-initial interview sila doon. And then, yun nga, may mga sets of questionnaire sila doon. Kasi na-hire na rin sila, yung karamihan sa kanila is part of the organization or probably they are one of the hired virtual assistant to recruit VAs as well. So, you have to expect that. Kasi baka mamaya magkaroon kayo, lalo na yung mga walang experience sa pagiging virtual assistant and never pa naka-experience na interviewin sa pagiging virtual assistant. So, i-expect ninyo na maaaring, ang in-expect nyo kasi, international clients ito, international companies ang mag-interview sa akin is puti or foreigner or yung owner ng company. It happens sometimes if they are the direct companies or the direct person who wanted to interview the applicant. But again, majority na ngayon na napapansin ko is ang nag-i-interview na ay mga kapwa na natin Filipino. Initial screening pa lang naman yun. Ang karamihang nag-i-interview sa akin is yung owner ng company kasi nabibihira pa yung nag-virtual assistant ngayon. Pero sa ngayon, since maraming na nag-offer ng virtual assistant services and maraming companies na yung nag-outsource, when it comes to recruitment, kasi imbis na nga naman, gawin pa nila yung sila pa yung mag-recruit, they can spend their time, valuable time, sa most important things sa pag-run ng kanilang business. So, na-outsource na rin nila yung kanilang recruiting process or recruitment process. Kaya, expect ninyo na maaring kapag kayo ay na-invite for initial interview, ang mag-initial interview sa inyo ay Filipino. And that's okay. Huwag kayong ma-disappoint or huwag kayong maging racist kaagad. Kasi okay lang naman yun na Filipino. Kasi ibig sabihin nun, ini-initial screen pa lang. And those people, those Filipino folks na nag-interview naman, qualified naman sila na mag-interview. Kasi hindi naman sila hire nung company na kung hindi naman sila qualified. And again, those are initial screening. The decision making is still up to the management ng company, which normally is not although may mga suggestions pa din yung mga Filipino na nag-interview, initial interview, but majority of the decision factor pa rin is of course yung how you deliver yourself, how you present yourself, and then again, decision pa rin yun ng management at hindi nung nag-recruit. May output man yung recruit, based lang yun sa kanilang initial assessment sa inyo. Kaya don't worry Filipino, okay lang yan. It's part of the process na nowadays that we have to accept. Okay? And then, kapag na-interview na kayo, again, mga common question doon, that's easy. And then, second steps sa interview is yung second interview na either, meron kasing sets ng interview, di ba? Alam naman natin na initial interview, initial screening, second interview is yung halimbawa, yung mga manager na, kung saan ka mag-report, and then yung final is, sometimes is may panel discussion pa rin, di ba? Lalo na kung malaking project or malaking company yung mag-hire sa inyo. And then yung role mo dun sa department nila or sa company is crucial and important na malaman nila lahat yung skill set. So magkakaroon ng mga panel discussion. But again, that's okay. And it's part of the recruiting process and part of the screening process to make sure that you are the right fit for them. And again, this is something that you should be expecting kapag kayo ay nag-a-apply as a virtual assistant. So, yun ang difference kapag kayo ay nag-a-apply as for one particular employee naman, or kapag kayo naman ay katulad nung sa akin na outsourcing, you will be talking directly to the owner of the company and how you can support his business and his business operation. So that's the difference. But let's talk about the common. Kasi nga, again, we are talking about how to become a virtual assistant from the scratch. So yung mga initial stage. And I suggest na you have to go through this process. First, kasi parang magkaroon kayo ng understanding and more understanding sa pagiging virtual assistant. Para alam niyo lahat yung expectation. And again, up to you pa rin, hindi ko kayo dinidiscourage. But I always suggest na try it yourself first. Test the water before kayo mag-create ng agency ninyo. Kasi, paano kayo mag-create ng sarili ninyong agency kung kayo mismo hindi ninyo alam kung paano yung processes at saka kung paano yung mga rulings dyan sa pag-virtual assistant. Kumbaga, mas maganda na meron kayong understanding sa operations and sa processes ng virtual assistant outsourcing. And then kapag nasa second stage na tayo ng interview, doon na nagkakaroon ng more technical questions about sa expertise ninyo and sa skills ninyo, and then depende yun dun sa in-applyan ninyo na position. So again, basahin niyo yung job description and then make sure na you are ready to talk about it, and then that you are ready to answer the technical question that they may have. I have a toolkit for the successful interview and how you can pass the interview, the initial interview, and the different steps of interview. So, meron po tayong toolkit dyan. Check it out. Those are free for you to use and use as a guide. Initial and second interview, malalaman mo na kung, ma-feel mo na use your gut feel kung matatanggap ka or hindi. Kasi you're able to answer the questions confidently, and then you can feel from the interviewer if they are interested. Actually, as a recruiter, I always make sure na yung ini-interview ko kapag I think he or she is the right fit for the position, I make it her or him aware na possibly ma-hire siya. Para nagkaroon siya ng hope, hindi dahil para bigyan siya ng false hope. Pero malalaman mo naman yun na kapag ka-qualified ka or kapag ka papasa ka or mahahire ka nila. Now, let's move on to the part na magne-negotiate na tayo ng part. Okay? So, again, ito dinidiscuss ko is starting from the scratch and then nag-a-apply kayo dun sa specific job. Yan, as a virtual assistant. Hindi pa natin na papag-usapan yung sa freelancing nang nag-offer kayo ng multi-services or maraming services. And that's different type naman pa rin ng negotiation. So, nasa negotiation tayo ng isang job, either full-time or part-time. So again, ano-ano ba yung mga dapat ninyong i-consider? Kapag, let's say na kapag provide na sila, sinabi na nila na, okay, we will offer you this, and then you receive the contract or the offer letter already. So ano-ano ba yung mga bagay na dapat ninyong i-consider? Again, during the interview, sa panel discussion or sa second interview pa lang, ask their requirements kung ano yung mga kailangan nila, ano yung expectation nila sa position. So that you are aware kung para kapag ma-brought up na yung topic about the range and the salary or compensation, alam niyo kung paano kayo, alam niyo kung paano niyo ipoposition sarili niyo, and so that you can provide the right range or rate para doon sa specific job na yun. Alamin niyo kung ano yung duration, for full-time ba ito. Usually naman nakalagay naman sa job post kung full-time or part-time. But still, it's worth asking kung ang plan ba nila ay full-time, part-time. And then, ano ba yung kanilang plan in the long term? And how this job or yung position, if ever they will hire you, ano yung pwede mong i-input sa kanila or pwede mong i-provide or pwede mong i-bring to the table para maging successful yung inyong position. And again, don't forget to ask, is this position a new created position or a replacement for somebody who left the company? Especially kung kayo ay VA na naghahanap ng position na parang employment lang talaga, parang to replace your current job. So it's important na malaman niyo. And again, it's applicable rin naman to sa kahit na anong job interview na it's important na malaman niyo kung yun ay newly created position or replacement. And kung kung replacement yun, bakit sila nag-replace? Alamin niyo kung yun ba ay problem ng employer or something problem sa budget or something problem sa performance or something na issues about, sa requirements ng clients. It's important na alam niyo para alam niyo yung meron kayong expectation. Alam niyo yung magiging expectation niyo and mga initiatives na pwede niyo gawin once na ma-hire kayo dun sa position na yun. That way, makakapag-elaborate kayo, mapoprovide ninyo or magkakaroon kayo ng mapuposition ninyo yung sarili niyo kung paano kayo makakatulong dun sa department na yun or dun sa position na yun. Alam niyo kung paano ninyo in-negotiate yung inyong pricing. And again, another thing that you should be considering or asking is, kapag tinanong kayo, kasi again, kung kayo ay freelancer, independent contractor, I don't think any reason not to ask for what's the budget, especially kung kayo ay freelancer. Kasi it's either si client yung magtatanong sa inyo what's your rate, or what's your rate or your expected salary, or kayo yung magtatanong sa kanya. Kapag nasa level na kayo ng third interview or panel interview or second interview, it's okay to ask, I think. Kasi you don't want to waste your time waiting for that client and then just being okay with their kung ano man yung budget nila or ano. Kasi kung hindi naman ikaw, pabor sa kanila, pabor sa iyo yung budget nila, antay ka pa ng antay 3 weeks bago ka nila balikan. Tapos yung pala at the end of the day, hindi naman pala pasok dun sa requirements mo yung kanilang budget. So, it's a waste of time. So, it's better while you still have a chance, ask politely kung sabihin nyo, may I know what's your budget for this project or for this position. Tapos tatanungin naman nila yun sila naman babalik, maaari tanungin kanila pabalik. So, what's your rate? Diba? Ganun. At least na open. Nagkaroon kayo ng chance para ma-evaluate yung current budget ng client. Kasi, again, ang pagiging virtual assistant is not just settling for less. Again, na-discuss ko na yan, na do not settle for less. Always think about the cost, the value, the quality, and again, your goal. Ano ba yung goal mo kung bakit ka nag-apply or nag-switch as a virtual assistant? And that's your considering factors para sa inyong pricing or kapag mag-accept kayo ng certain project at certain price. And that way, kapag alam niyo yung budget, you can either provide them on options or you know if it's time for you to back out. Like, tatapusin mo lang yung interview and after that, you will not put any more effort, move forward ka na dun sa next client or next potential client na pwede. Or yung instead na allocate ka pa or mag-exert ka pa ng effort para ma-hire ka nila, is ma-put mo yung effort na yun to looking for another prospect client. Kasi nga, again, ang pagiging virtual assistant is more on flexibility and again, setting your own rates, setting your own time, setting your own value per position. So, those are the things that you should be considering kapag kayo ay nagne-negotiate. And again, kapag hindi na brought up yung topic about sa pricing, it's okay to brought it up yourself kasi kailangan natin yun. So, kapag sa tingin naman ninyo, hindi ba pasok sa budget mo or sa requirements mo, sa gusto mong, sa expectation mo yung budget nila, you have the right to, or I think you can counter offer like, can I give you an option? Okay, your budget seems too low for me, but I can offer you this. So, sabihan natin na kung ang hiniling nila ay full-time, 8 hours or 40 hours a week, tapos ang budget nila is, let's say, 50K. And then, para sa'yo mababa yung 50K, gusto mo 60 or 70K kasi that's what you're worth. And then, you can say like, okay, I can provide you an options. Okay, I can provide you a fixed rate. I'll do this job. If your goal is, let's say, kung accounting ka, I'll set up all your accounting. I will start setting up your accounting tools and your accounting system, and then i-reconcile ko lahat ng mga transactions mo, and then that will take this 3 months, and this is my price. So, pwede kang magbigay ng options or mag-hourly rate ka na lang kaysa sa fixed rate. And again, kapag nag-negotiate kayo ng inyong rate or prices, do not settle for less. Again, think about your values. Raise your value and raise the quality of your work. And then always emphasize and highlight your skill set, your expertise, and your experience. And that's the cost of your rate. That's your rate, and that's what they are paying for. Kaya nga, it's crucial na alamin mo kung ano yung budget nila. And then let's say nag-agree na si client, ano na yung step nakasunod kapag nag-agree si client? Okay, I'm gonna hire you for fixed rate. As you said, 3 months you're gonna set up my accounting system or accounting books, or you're gonna clean up my books for 3 months, and this is the rate. Then okay, let's do it. And then kapag nag-agree na si client, ang gagawin nyo namang next is draft the contract. Or you can ask them like, okay, are you gonna send me an offer letter, or do you want me to send you a proposal that includes the scope of work and the timeline as well? So, pwede kang mag-offer na ganun. And again, may mga client kasi na gusto nila, invoice mo na lang ako, or sila yung mag-create ng offer letter sa inyo. It depends on the agreement. Again, hindi ka basta-basta pwedeng mag-create or magkaroon ng expectation. Kasi again, every company is different. Company na sila yung gusto mag-create ng offer letter for you to sign. Meron namang company na, okay, send me your proposal. And then kapag nag-send ka ng proposal, then sasignan nila, and then the agreement will be finalized. So again, make sure na you communicate and you agreed with the terms and condition, na-discuss ninyo yung terms and condition. And then, again, kapag sinabi nila, okay, send me your proposal or your quotation, make sure, again, na you have your terms and condition or your policies written on the proposal. Para alam ni client yung kanyang expectation and your boundaries as well. Para kung ano man yung mga extra work na ipapagawa ni client na hindi naman ninyo napag-usapan initially, is hindi mahirap i-negotiate at hindi mahirap i-discuss. Kasi ang nakikita ko din sa mga ibang nag-BBA, sasabihin nila, yung client ko, for the hours na akong nagtatrabaho sa kanila, walang increase or sobrang ni-utilize na yung hours ko. It's because it's your fault. Kasi hindi kayo nagkaroon ng right terms and condition discussion during the initial interview or during before kayo mag-sign ng contract or mag-agree with them. Kumbaga na-encourage na kagad kayo dun sa rate na gusto niyo kasi nga sanay kayo dun sa 500 pesos per day na rate dito sa Philippines. So again, I'm here to help, and then I hope na itong aking videos or lesson, itong course ko ay nagkaroon sa inyo ng lesson or at least insight about the reality of virtual assistant. And then again, kapag na-send na ninyo yung inyong proposal and terms and condition, send a follow-up and confirm until na ma-sign ni client yung contract. And again, don't forget yung terms of payment kasi meron mga clients na hindi sila particular sa terms of payment. Basta kala nila basta sasahuran kanila hourly or parang regular employees nila. Sa process nila yung payment mo bi-weekly or monthly. So, it's better na magkaroon kayo ng clarification or clarity before kayo mag-sign ng contract. And then, normally kasi sa mga payment, pwede kayong mag-demand ng 50% down payment, lalo na kapag mga fixed fee yung inyong china-charge. Kung kayo naman ay hourly or parang regular employees lang naman kayo, usually kasi binibill yun in arrears or sometimes yung iba pinoprorate din nila. So again, it depends on your discussion and agreement with the client. But again, the way you negotiate with the clients is always raise your value and always do your research. Make sure na yung iyong pricing and yung agreement mo with the client is fair with you at hindi mo masyadong sinisettle yung sarili mo for less. Kasi yung negotiation is not only the price, it's also the scope of work and the terms, kung gaano yung timeline, yung expectation. Kasi kung sobra-sobra na yung timeline na ganyan, sometimes it creates frustration. So it's important na you know all the aspects of negotiating your price and the things that you should be considering before kayo mag-sign ng contract. If anything na hindi clear sa inyo, make sure na you clarify it first before you sign a contract. Now, i-discuss naman natin yung ibang mga BA na halimbawa yung high school graduate or yung mga vocational graduate na or yung mga nag-start up from BPO o nagaling ng BPO and then nag-move sila or nag-switch sila into virtual assistant and then napapasok sila sa mga agency na katulad ng My Virtual Era, sa mga outsourcing agency. Ano ba, Miss Lisa, yung mga dapat naming i-consider kapag kami ay employed or gusto naming mag-apply sa mga agency katulad ng My Virtual Era? So there are many factors or many things that you should be considering kapag kayo ay pumapasok sa outsourcing company. First is you have to know yung inyong type of contract. So yung type of contract is either you are employed with the outsourcing company or you are considered as independent contractor but you have NDA or non-disclosure agreement with them. So again, it's up to you. Ang itatanong ninyo dun is kung kayo ay employee, read muna ninyo yung inyong contract. Basahin nyo mabuti yung contract. Employee ba kayo? So which means kapag employee kayo, they will submit the government contribution, they will be paying your withholding tax, income withholding tax, and at the same time, you are entitled for 13-month pay, and kung may mga benefits pa yung company. And second is, kapag employee kayo, dapat provided ni outsourcing company yung inyong equipment or at least ipa-cover ninyo ni outsourcing company yung inyong equipment dun sa client. Kasi ang employee usually ay provided. Kung hindi naman nila provided ang equipment ninyo at nag-agree kayo doon sa kanyang condition, that's all up to you. But again, if there's a way na kailangang i-provide nila yung inyong equipment, just ask them for equipment kasi employee kayo. Ngayon, kung kayo naman ay nag-sign ng contract sa kanila as independent contractor, of course, you will expect them na you have your own equipment and then you have your own technical expertise na kasi nga independent contractor kayo and then hindi naman kayo pwedeng mag-expect sa kanila nang i-provide yung mga government mandatory contribution and you're paying your taxes. Kayo ang liable then as independent contractor. Kami mga outsourcing company lang is we will provide client for you. And then again, ask ninyo yung transparency about the distribution of your payment sa client kung kayo ay independent contractor. And then kung kayo naman ay employee, make sure na you agree with the salary every month. Kasi transparency is important as well. And then, kung kayo ay independent contractor, you have to be okay with the NDA with the outsourcing company. Kapag ka-outsourcing company, non-disclosure yun, hindi pwede ninyo sabihin sa client na, oh, independent contractor ako or i-hire ninyo ako, gusto ko na mag-resign or ayaw ko na magkaroon ng engagement dito sa outsourcing company. That's very disrespectful and then again, very unprofessional, kaya kailangan ninyo maging okay. Kasi hindi naman ganun talaga maghanap ng client. And another thing for the employees is, ask din ninyo yung inyong terms and condition ng employment kasi karamihan sa mga outsourcing agency is nag-require sila ng parang NDA din, non-compete naman sa kanila, ang tawag nila non-compete. So kapag kayo ay may plan na mag-resign at plan ng customer ninyo or ng clients ninyo na i-hire kayo directly, that's possible and they shouldn't be holding you back. However, usually kasi, to protect then the interest of the outsourcing company, they usually put on the agreement or the contract that you shouldn't be competing with them or employed dun sa kanilang existing client. Kasi very unprofessional naman talaga yun na magda-direct hire kayo. So, pwede naman kayong ida-direct hire pero I think yung inyong existing client ngayon ay they have to buy you out from the company. So, kailangan nilang i-buy out kayo doon and then para kayo ay kanilang maging regular company. There's a process. It's all about respect and again, honoring the agreement. Kaya again, importante na basahin niyo yung agreement niyo with your employer or sa agency and then kung kayo naman independent contractor, again, the same din. Make sure na you agree with the terms and condition, with the salary or with the rate ng inyong contracting agency. Yun po ay para din sa inyong protection at the same time sa protection na rin naman noong agency yun. And the reason why I'm discussing it here kasi maraming mga virtual assistant na nag-a-apply doon sa agency kasi yun yung the best and easiest way for them to get the client and to have experience at least to test the water if the virtual assistant is the right fit for them. So it's important na you know those kind of things kasi marami kong na-encounter na, oh Miss Lisa, bakit ganito, bakit ganyan? So again, kailangan po ninyong basahin mabuti yung contract. And then kapag may mga questions or doubtful kayo or hindi kayo naiintindihan in any clauses or any sections ng inyong contract, ask for clarity. Wala namang masama. Kumbaga, you are just protecting yourself. And then for sure, hindi naman i-mind doong ng agency yung mga questions ninyo kasi you have the right to know every single details of your contract, of the contract that you are signing for. And the same din naman dun sa independent contractor. And again, lastly, if you are dealing with, or if you are negotiating with your rates, with your clients or dun sa agency na pinapasukan ninyo, always keep professionalism. Huwag yung kayong masyadong maangas or yung parang pagalit ka agad na parang feeling nyo, malalamangan kayo kagad. Kung hindi sa inyo right, kung hindi kayo agree with the terms and condition of the clients or the customer, just i-withdraw ninyo yung inyong contract or i-decline ninyo yung kanilang offer kung doon sa ano. You always have the right to decline. Pero again, kung before kayo mag-sign, make sure na 100% na intindihan ninyo. Kasi mahirap naman sa side ng customer or ng agency na after 1 month na na-training kayo, magde-decline na kagad kayo or ano kayo. Kasi we're talking about the investment for the training, the value of time as well. So keep your professionalism and always make sure na you understand everything. And again, lagi kong sinasabi, don't make the money your goal. It's always just a reward, okay? So money is not everything. Ang importante is, kapag gumising kayo ng umaga, you are looking forward to work for that company or to the colleague that you are working with. Kaysa naman ang iniisip nyo lang, hindi ako masaya pero babangon ako kasi kailangan ko mag-work, kailangan ko magbayad ng bills. Sometimes, it's not worth it. If you are not happy with what you are doing, I suggest na have some time for yourself to evaluate yourself and what you want to do, and probably it's time for a change. Kasi at the end of the day, we only have one life, short-lived here in the world, and we must enjoy our life. Alright, that's it for this video. I hope may natutunan kayo. And now let's move forward to our last video or lesson, which is how to provide an excellent service. Alright, see you in my next video.